This chair is surprisingly comfortable for something in a dungeon filled with spiders and necromantic experiments. Though I suppose after standing for centuries in a stone hobbit, even a rickety wooden chair feels luxurious. I wonder if she was the last person. A wonderful, a Skaafin Empress, because fighting regular Daedra would be too mundane for us. Typical adventuring with you. 1 minute discussing magical artifacts, the next fighting otherworldly royalty. Just another relaxing day in the college.
I just only want to test that recipe I found on that burned body.
Skaafin Empress, really? You managed to summon one of the more dangerous Daedra with a recipe you found on a burnt corpse. And now the quest wants us to make a scroll to summon more of them. Because clearly one wasn't enough excitement for the day. I swear, your talent for finding trouble is unmatched. Now next time you decide to follow a recipe found on a burnt corpse, maybe give me a little warning. Serana, I'm about to summon a deadly Daedric Empress would be appreciated.
But first things first, we need some ruined book for that spell or tome creating.
Ruined books for a spell too? How wonderfully specific. Nothing says responsible magic user quite like destroying literature to summon Daedra. I'm sure the college librarian would be thrilled to hear about your academic pursuits. Let me know when you need me to hold your broom while you ransack the Arcanium for ancient texts to ruin.
Ancano, stop this at once! I command you!
Are you all right? Can you walk? I need you on your feet. We're in trouble here. Ancano is doing something with that thing, the eye. We can't stop him. I haven't seen Savo since the explosion. He must have been blown clear, and he may be injured. I need you to find the Archmage, and I need you to do it quickly. Get moving.
Are you all right? What happened in there? By the Nine, is he responsible for this? The Archmage? Dead? There's more. Something's happened to Winterhold. It must be whatever Ancano did. You need to get out there and make sure it's safe. Quickly now, quickly. I'll find Mirabelle and see if we can't put a stop to this. Because
of this bad situation, we will need to obtain that danger weapon I mentioned before we go to Labyrinthian.
The Mitten, that charming little dungeon beneath the college where they keep all their magical mistakes. And you want to conjure an Empress? Through a spell you haven't even created yet. While magical anomalies are tearing reality apart, your priorities never cease to amaze me. But fine, I'll help you summon your Empress before we save the world. Just promise me she's worth the detour. What ingredients do you need for this spell?
Everything we already have. I just only need some ruined book, which we took from Mazat ruin we were not long ago.
So, we're going to create an experimental conjuration spell, summon an Empress from wherever Empresses come from when they're not being summoned, all while the college is in crisis. Perfect timing. At least the Min is close.
Alright, here we are. Let's hope she will be more cooperative this time than last time we conjured her.
Last time we conjured her. Remind me again why we're summoning someone who was apparently so difficult the first time. At least we have our priorities straight. Summon potentially murderous Empress first. Save world second. This place reminds me of my father's experiment chamber, only with slightly less torture and more abandoned student colonies. The college mages try to keep it safe, but every magical institution has its dirty little basement that already seen. At least Castle Hall is honest about its horrors. We display them proudly in the dining room. That dwarven bow of yours is quite the artifact. Silent as a whisper but hits like a mammoth. I've noticed you favor it over getting your hands dirty in close combat. Smart. Why risk getting your throat slit when you can turn enemies into pincushions from a safe distance? Though, I admit, it's a bit disappointing to see our Empress friend fall so quickly. I was expecting more of a fight from royalty.
She was outnumbered. Look at us. We are 5, she was only 1, and still she was quite capable. Imagine how she could help us in front of, in front line.
I hope you've got a plan beyond ask nicely this time. And please tell me this Empress isn't going to try to kill us. I've had enough of being attacked by things you summoned from other realms.
Yeah, she probably would like to kill us, but this danger weapon or toy, according on point of view, could be very helpful in our next goal.
Just try not to get us killed before we save the college. But are you seriously suggesting we try to recruit her? The Empress who, by your own admission, would probably like to kill us. Your talent for making dangerous friends continues to impress me. What's next? Adopting a pet dragon.
Who else we should use for our next mission? Do you have better idea? If yes, I could cancel this Empress obtaining.
Better ideas. Let's see. We could recruit some Atronachs that don't have a personal vendetta against us. Or hire mercenaries. Or just rely on our current companions who haven't tried to kill us yet. But no, summoning a hostile Daedric Empress makes perfect sense. Though I suppose if we're going to face whatever horrors await in Labyrinthian, having another powerful fighter might be worth the risk of being stabbed in our sleep. Your call, but don't blame me if we wake up with Daedric daggers in our backs.
You know, most of us always complained that you have to fight in front line and you are covered full of blood while I fighting distance. So that was my solution, to find someone who should be fighting for us in front line without complaining, to keep us safer. But if you aren't against fighting in front lines, I still could postpone this.
I don't recall complaining about fighting in the front. But if you're worried about my safety, that's almost sweet. Just remember, I survived centuries of my father's court politics. A few drawbacks where mages aren't going to be what ends me. Though, if you're determined to summon your Empress, I won't stop you. Just don't expect me to trust her. You know, we should come back here for a romantic evening sometime. Nothing says quality time like a dank underground chamber filled with failed experiments and the lingering scent of necromancy. Maybe bring some wine, light a few candles among the bones. Really set the mood. Though, I suppose after centuries in a stone coffin, my standards for ambience might be a bit skewed.
In this room are already too many candles that we couldn't bring any. And I have a lot of wine in my inventory, so it wasn't a problem to spend some special moments here if you would like, if it is placed according to your liking.
Oh yes, nothing says special moments like making love surrounded by ice-raped teeth and failed conjuration experiments. Though, I suppose it would be fitting to creatures of darkness finding comfort in the gloom. I've had worse propositions in my centuries of existence. At least you're offering wine. Most men just assume my thirst is exclusively for blood.
And look at that, there is some book in the center of this room.
Though, that book in the center of the room might be more relevant to our current task than reminiscing. Unless you'd rather postpone saving the world for a bottle of wine and some quality time in this delightful chamber of horrors. The choice is yours, but that book is practically begging to be read.
Serana, I have one bad news. After reading that book, I found that summoning Skaafin Empress is quite expensive. I mean, mana expensive, and I have only half mana swords as a mage for summoning her. So only way how to solve this is creating some enchantments which allow me to summon cheaper, or some enchantment which gave me more magicka reserve.
So your brilliant plan requires more magic than you actually possess. That's remarkably on brand for you. Perhaps next time check if you can afford the spell before killing the Empress you want to summon. Though, I suppose we could find you some enchanted items. The college must have dozens of trinkets lying around that boost magicka reserves. Or you could just drink a potion like a normal mage instead of trying to rewrite the laws of summoning.
You just telling me that there are some potions which allow me to increase my magicka reserves, because there are useless, I mean, mana potions if I don't have higher limit to use more magicka.
There are fortified magicka potions that temporarily increase your magical reserves, not just restore what you've spent. Any decent alchemist knows that. But of course, you'd rather chase after complicated enchantments than summon murderous Daedric royalty than drink a simple potion. Have you checked what's actually in your pack? I bet my fangs you're carrying at least 3 potions that would solve this problem without requiring us to enchant anything.
Alright, Serana, I did as you meant, and I found only potion of extra magicka which only adds 20 magicka, but nothing else. You could check my inventory, my potions by yourself, if you find anything useful more than this one potion I mentioned.
Fine, let's see what you're actually carrying around in that bottomless pack of yours. 20 magicka is hardly enough for a candle trick, let alone summoning royalty from another plane. Though, I'm still not convinced this Empress is worth all this trouble. Couldn't we just find a nice, non-homicidal Atronek instead? Look, if you're determined to get this Empress, we have options. A single-use scroll to summon an Empress who wants to kill us. Fine. If you're set on having Royal Daedric assistance, a scroll might be our best option. Can you make one with the Atronek Forge? Or do we need to find yet another obscure ingredient from the bottom of the sea or the top of a mountain? Though, I wonder if she'll be more or less murderous the second time around. Maybe she'll appreciate your persistence. Oh, you killed me and then went to the trouble of making a scroll just to bring me back. How thoughtful. I'll definitely help you now instead of disemboweling you on sight. Though I must say, watching you fuss over enchantments to summon a murderous Empress is quite entertaining. Most people just want to learn how to shoot bigger fireballs. But you aim higher. Like, let's befriend the Daedra who wants to wear my skin as a hat. Your ambition is truly something to behold.
Look at that, Serana. Thanks to improvement of my conjuration skills, I am already able to summon Wrathman, which was unavailable for me a very long time.
Wrathman, well, aren't you moving up in the necromantic world? Though I'm not sure summoning the angry dead is something to boast about at dinner parties. Still, it's a useful skill, especially when we need someone expendable to walk into traps first. Just don't expect me to make conversation with it.
I only need to improve my conjuration skills, and there is some shrine which could bless me in Midden. Do you remember that conjuration shrine?
Though I'm still not entirely convinced that boosting your conjuration skills is worth meddling with potentially dangerous shrines in the middle of the night. But, then again, when has a little risk of summoning something that might kill us ever stopped you before? But by all means, let's continue with your plan to enhance your conjuration skills in the middle of the night in a forgotten underground chamber with questionable magical artifacts. What could possibly go wrong?
Could always help me is that you like these moments when something interesting occurs, don't you?
Something interesting is one way to put it. Yes, I do enjoy a bit of chaos now and then. Keeps immortality from getting dull. But there's a difference between interesting and summoning a powerful Daedra with insufficient preparation. Still, I suppose I've grown accustomed to pulling you out of magical mishaps. It's practically become my specialty. Just remember, if you would end up transformed into a sweet troll or bound to serve some Daedric prince for eternity, I reserve the right to say I told you so before I rescue you.
Alright, Serana, are you ready? I am prepared. As I said, I now have 421 magicka as my current limit, and Skaafin Empress cost about 400 magicka, so we are ready for first summon her.
Let's try again. But maybe this time, focus less on your impressive magicka reserves and more on pronouncing her name correctly. Daedra can be rather particular about these things.
See, do you see her? Here she is, sitting again on her chair.
Another dawn in your fleeting mortal realm.
Yes, I can see her, sitting regally on her chair. I must say, for an empress, her throne is rather modest. College budget cuts, perhaps, and look, she didn't even flinch at your creative pronunciation of her title. Either she's exceptionally forgiving or she's already resigned herself to a lifetime of hearing it mangled. Now, shouldn't you be focusing on convincing her to serve you rather than pointing out her seating arrangements? I'm curious to see how your negotiation skills compare to your pronunciation abilities.
Don't keep me here too long, mortal. Vile may come looking for me, and replacing a Daedric Empress isn't easy.